if you're attracted to a 19-year-old, you're attracted to an 18-year-old. And if you're attracted to an 18-year-old, you got some petty vibes. And I don't mean P-E-T-T-Y. I mean P-E-D-I. Greetings and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tenicka. In case you are new here, my channel focuses on fashion and travel and beauty and yapping. In today's video, I'm doing a lot of yapping, guys. I am yapping because I am annoyed. Y'all boyfriends, daddies, uncles, brothers, cousins really annoy me. And we're going to talk about it today. Let's talk about it. Let's get right into it. I just put my brows on with my NYX eyebrow pencil in Espresso, or Ebony, I think is the shade. Let's get right into it. Y'all uncle, cousin, brother, friend, whatever y'all want to call him today and this evening, Shannon Sharpe is being sued for an assault that took place, or I believe it's multiple assaults, with his former alleged girlfriend. Just because I used to work at a legal advocacy organization does not mean I am an attorney. I am definitely not a criminal attorney. And so I can actually speak to the legality in the way that I think would be intellectually robust and good. That and however, okay, we are going to talk today because I am just a person on the internet who is yapping, okay? And the allegations against Shannon Sharpe, I think, are very strong allegations. I don't know if they are true or false. Obviously, I wasn't there, but I definitely will say this is a tale as old as time. It is a tale as old as time. There is always some famous man who engages in deeply nefarious, sexually deviant behavior and then is stunned when he rises to fame, either during that process, before that process, or after that process. And then somehow someone is attacking him and trying to come after his money. Do you not read books? Are you not a student of history? Did you just become a black man in America? And I am not one of those people that believe that this is somehow like because he is a black man and he's going to buy NBC and they're taking down all the rich black men and rich black men behave in the way that rich white men, rich Asian men, rich Latino men, men in general behave. They have an over familiarity with misogyny and patriarchy and violent behavior. That is the way so many men are socialized in society. Okay? And so it is not somebody's trying to take him for his money. No, he happens to have money while he is engaging in this nefarious behavior, this explicit, this illegal, this toxic behavior. And then he can't understand why somebody's taking him for his paper. Because, honey, that's what you got. And that's how punishment works. People come for the things that you have when you do those kinds of things. You know, that is what it is. But obviously there's a legal process. These allegations will play out. It is what it is. But I don't even want to talk about that really. I want to talk about y'all and some of the reactions I have been seeing. And some of the reactions, frankly, that I've been getting from y'all cousins, brothers, uncles, and y'all daddies on the internet. This is your dad. This is someone's father. This is someone's hinge match. This is somebody looked at this man's profile and decided to take him on a date and decided to slide in his DMs. And he's in women's comment section saying 19 is legal. 19 is legal. And some of y'all aunts, yes, some of the aunties, some of the elder Gen Xers, and I'm not coming for y'all, but y'all have to acknowledge that there is a certain segment of the Gen X population and older, especially the older ones in their 50s, who are saying, well, I was 19 when I met my 78-year-old husband. You are a victim, dear. You are a victim. And you are coming in the comment section trying to tell us how mature you are and how mature you were. Rather than recognizing we have evolved as a society, and just because something is legal doesn't mean that it's ethical and doesn't mean that it's morally right. and that we as a society shouldn't both judge you, shame you, and make you feel uncomfortable at every single turn, because that's nasty. Okay? It is nasty for a 19-year-old to be with a 50-something-year-old. It is nasty for a 19-year-old to be with a 40-something-year-old. It is nasty for a 19-year-old to be with a 30-something-year-old. Okay? I think 25, maybe to 28, 27 is a little gray area, but you still got some splaining to do. Just because you're 30 and 40, and that is just very much acceptable. Being 30 and 40 is acceptable. Okay? Let me explain this because some of y'all are confused. I don't make the rules, but I explain them very well. And let me explain the rules to you. There is something wrong and there is something nasty with a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old. There is something wrong with that. I don't care what you think or what you say, or your man was this and your man was that. Y'all might have a lovely relationship now, but that is a grooming relationship. Your frontal lobe has not evolved. It has not developed. And you're frolicking around with someone who has so much more life experience than you. And you are so defensive. You're getting online trying to defend the behavior just because it was legal. Apartheid was legal. Slavery was legal. Hello? Child labor. A 10-year-old child working 40 hours a week in a factory was legal in these here United States. And legality is where you draw the line. Just because something is legal, that means that it's okay as a society. I recognize that it's a gray area. I recognize everybody's not going to agree with it. I'm not saying that you should agree with me. I'm saying that's how I feel. I feel like it's illegal. I feel like it's immoral. I feel like it speaks to your character, and it speaks to who you are and the kinds of decisions that you make. And it speaks to your desperation. It speaks to your inability to separate sexual attraction from attraction. I've never been attracted to an 18-year-old. Maybe when I was 16, maybe when I was 19. But I'm not attracted to youth. Do you understand? I'm not attracted to youth. The way the generations in my family turn over, it's impossible for me to be attracted to youth. It is impossible for me to be attracted to youth. My grandmother was 30-something years old when I was born. My grandmother was in her 30s when I was born. Yeah, so in my brain, Shannon Sharpe is old enough to be this young lady's grandfather. And y'all are saying, oh, well, you could be a mature 19-year-old. And y'all infantilize kids in America, and that's the problem over in other countries. And, and this and I don't care what them people do in their country. I mean, I actually do. It's inappropriate. Have you been around a 19-year-old? Some of y'all haven't been around 19-year-olds. Some of y'all are talking in theory. Because if you've been around a 19-year-old, you recognize how disgusting that is. You actually recognize how disgusting that is. You do. Some of y'all are so convinced that you could be impartial, and y'all are so like, well, that's none of nobody's business, and if that's what they want to do, and let people live, and girl, I don't have to let nobody live. I don't have to let anybody do anything. That's for you girls, and that's what you girls do. No, it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. You're not a friend of mine. Yeah, I think that's inappropriate. I don't care what y'all say. That is inappropriate. I think there are very rare instances, very, very rare, where 19 and 26 is rocking out. Very, very rare. But the fact that you, as a 50-something-year-old, 40-year-old, 30-year-old, being attracted to a 19-year-old tells me everything I need to know about you. That if you're attracted to a 19-year-old, you're attracted to an 18-year-old. And if you're attracted to an 18-year-old, you got some petty vibes. And I don't mean P-E-T-T-Y. I mean P-E-D-I. Yeah, you have that in your bloodline. You have that in your gene pool. You need to do something about that. You have an issue and you cannot be around my kids. No, that's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. And y'all are online defending it, and y'all are trying to say, well, that's not the issue. The issue is not, how are you in your 50s, my God, today, believing in your soul that this 19-year-old is physically, emotionally, and intellectually attracted to you? She might be financially attracted to you. I don't want to void her of her agency. She is a legal adult. But as a person that was 19 years old before, as a person whose child is 18 months away from being 19, I think it's absolutely disgusting that y'all are laying down with men who are in the comment section of these videos, of these hot takes, of these intellectual discussions, defending Shannon Sharpe. Pushing back on this notion that men should be able to date whomever they want as long as it's a legal adult. Yeah, the police might not come for you, but I am. Because that's nasty. And it's so problematic, and we need to make it more uncomfortable in society for men to do that. Now, there are some men who are comparing this to Tracy Ellis Ross. Now, Tracy Ellis Ross, unfortunately, is getting caught up in the news cycle because she said something, you know, a little salacious at the same time that this Shannon Sharpe situation is breaking. Now, our good sis Tracy said that, you know, just to paraphrase it, I just saw the clip, I didn't see the whole thing. But she essentially talked about what it means to be a single woman in her 50s, navigating dating, mourning, and grieving a life that she imagined, which is marriage and children. But she was not, she did not find the partner that she desired, right? Financially, emotionally, and especially, I think from a progressive perspective. And so she was saying that as a woman in her 50s, she likes to date men younger because, you know, they're just a little bit more, this is what I assume, they're just a little bit more progressive. Now, when she said that, I thought that she meant like 35 and 45. Okay? 35 and 45. I never in my wildest dreams thought she meant 19. And so for y'all to compare that is a red herring. Y'all are trying to compare the two, and there is no comparison. There isn't. Some people are saying Drea Michelle, allegedly some situation with her and her baby's daddy, etc. I personally think that is also disgusting. I think that's also unfortunate. I think that's also, it tells me a lot about your character, especially when you're engaging in this kind of behavior. That's just what I personally feel. I could be wrong. I'm open to y'all commenting negative thoughts because y'all got dragged into a 15, 16-year-old marriage and it works with your, you know, with your husband. Listen, there is a person in my close family who was 19 years old who married a 50-something-year-old man. And this woman is now in her 50s or 60s, in her 60s, and she is not doing well. You can tell that she was in that kind of relationship. And my heart actually goes out. And there's, you know, it's not my story to tell in any way, shape, or form. But I'm not saying this as someone who doesn't see this personally, who doesn't know or haven't seen women who have been harmed by these kind of highly manipulative relationships. And I do believe that kind of manipulation can also happen to men. I believe that men who are 18, who are 19, who are 20, 21, 22, 23, who are in relationships with women who are 28, 29, 30, 31, I do think that's problematic. I'm not saying that, oh, that makes it better or, oh, Stella got her groove back. No, I never went up for those kinds of situations. I think it's more rare because it's more socially unacceptable for women to be in those kind of relationships, and people make it a lot more uncomfortable for women to pursue these kinds of relationships. And I want to make it super clear because I know somebody out there is very slow. I know somebody out there is really so, and their logical brain can't understand why I think it is okay for a 40-year-old to be with a 50-year-old, but it's not okay for a 20-year-old to be with a 30-year-old. They're like, oh, that's a 10-year gap relationship. Your 20s are so formative. They, to me, are like your teens. They mold you into the person that you are. They become the foundation of so many things. You learn so much. Any woman, any person can tell you there is a drastic difference between 20 and 30. There are very few people that are going to be like, oh, I had a drastically different experience from 50 to 60 or 60 to 70. There are some of you out there who your boo came and got you when you were 14 and he was 24, and now y'all 35 and 45 and y'all trying to act like he didn't groom you. I'm not condoning it because I'm talking about when y'all met. I'm talking about the day. It's one thing for a 30-year-old with her full agency to go out here and meet a 40-year-old man, a 41-year-old, 42, 43, 44-year-old man. That's totally different. Then you're 20 years old on a college campus, on the yard, and here comes a 27-year-old, a 28-year-old, a 29-year-old, 30, 31, 32, let alone damn near 60? Y'all are really condoning this? I don't want to victim shame, and I want to just make sure that I'm being mindful of the fact that there are women out there who this is a revelation for them, right? Like they don't see themselves as victims. They saw themselves in full agency. And, we all have women in our family. I've had, women in my family, great grandmothers who were 13, 14 years old. Like there are all these very, challenging demons to now reckon with, after society has moved on, and recognize that socially, in a lot of ways, that should be unacceptable. Legality isn't the moral standard or the line. There are just some things that should be unacceptable. Like there are so many women, not me, but like women in my family and like cousins and friends who did feel like they were exercising full agency over their lives. As much agency as an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old could think that they're exercising when they were in relationships with these like older men. Yeah. They're like, oh yeah, look at me. I am doing something with my life. I don't talk to boys my age, right? I don't want to say too much on that because again, I don't want to victim shame. I think it is a societal issue at large. Let's pause for a second and get into this. Baby, that Tenicka, I use the Serum Skin Tint in the House Labs. I'm in the shade, what shade is that? 480 Medium Deep. And the Tenicka in 14. Oh, honey. That just really tore the system up. Yeah. That just reoriented. Yeah, it looks like I feel like I have on full foundation, and it literally looks like it's just like a really, my skin just looks great. All right, like that's literally what it looks like. I actually do have an event today, even though I kind of want to do 2 closet confessions because it's a lot been going on, honey. It's a lot been going on. These people really are trying it day after day. And y'all are allowing it. I think we need to recognize that there are times when things are inappropriate and unethical and should not be normalized in our society that have happened to us, that we have actively engaged in, maybe as a full participant, maybe as a victim, whatever. And that still doesn't mean that it's okay. Right? Like that we should be like, well, I don't know. Well. Y'all will waver on issues that are so toxic. We cannot waver on these kinds of issues. This is like peak toxicity. The race play and all that. Somebody needs to kink shame him for that too. But that's not my ministry. Okay? But like the fact that people are hanging their hat, they're willing to like be so openly, like they're openly pushing back on this notion that 19 is a legal adult. Like, they are so serious. Are you okay? Hello? Like, y'all could not watch my stuffed animal. I would be scared of what y'all would do to my stuffed animal. And if y'all get in my comment section talking about that's not fair, well, take that fairness that you want somewhere else. Go to some red pill matrix podcast, because here that is not acceptable. And I know people are like, oh, but she was a worker in a street, this and that. Okay, and he knew what he was getting himself into. That's what he decided to do with his fame, with his money, with his big age. That's what he did with his time, his energy, and his life. And now he wants to talk about it's a shakedown. Baby, that's a shakedown that you could see from a mile away. If that's a shakedown, baby, my God, today, I could have saw that coming 10 years ago with my back turned. You didn't know? Like, where were you raised? And who raised you? Because there's no way Cynthia could have raised you. There's no way. And you are an athlete? My God, today. This is so inappropriate. I'm telling you, this is like peak inappropriateness. I need to put some Charlotte Tilbury because I feel like this this concealer has dried a little bit more than I wanted it to, so I need to make it a little bit more moist. But this is peak uncle behavior. This is peak nasty man's behavior. This is so nasty. Oh, it's separating a little bit. Okay, I need to wait for it to dry. This is such a nasty man's thing to do and to engage in. This is nasty, allegedly. This is really unfortunate, and this is really nasty. And I'm sorry that we have been led into this group chat. I wish that we could get out of it. I wish that this wasn't a part of mainstream pop culture. I think it's just toxic in ways that it should not be. Again, my biggest concern is how much the public is trying to make this a racial issue. This is a racial issue because Shannon Sharpe chose to make it a racial issue, because he engaged in this kind of behavior, and now it is being brought to the public light, and the woman accusing him is a white woman, to the extent that she is a woman. Y'all will fall for the same line every single time. Well, they're trying to take a black man down. He's trying to buy CNBC and NBC and Google and Are y'all well? This is why college should be mandatory. This is why education and critical thinking, specifically the humanities, this is why it should be mandatory for all. Because the brain cells have been lost. There is something about this conversation. I don't trust half the men and a fourth of the women engaging in this conversation. Because y'all can't even engage in this conversation honestly, because you are so busy trying to fight in the comment section for your right to date a person who is barely a legal adult. It's disgusting. That is a teenager. That is a teenager, and you are a grandfather. I don't care if you got grandkids or not. We're not going to sit here. I know ageism is problematic. I know calling women aunties and calling people in their 50s uncle. And I get it. This and however is giving grandpa. That is inappropriate. It's problematic. It is disgusting. And I need to finish my concealer, and I will see y'all in the very next video, because I'm about to talk about something else in the next video, because y'all really got me on one today. Yeah. If you like this kind of video, like, comment, please subscribe. Let me know, have you ever been victim? Are you a willing participant in these kinds of situations? What do you think? What do you think? What is on your radar? Do you think it's appropriate for a 20-year-old and a 30-year-old, a 19-year-old and a 29-year-old, an 18-year-old and a 27-year-old? Do you think that's appropriate? Because y'all love an asterisk. Y'all let us know in the comment section. And I will see you in the very next video. Bye.